My beloved child, before you continue to walk amidst so many worries, before you allow thoughts and circumstances to make more noise than my voice within you, I want you to stop for a moment and receive that which your soul has been waiting to hear for a long time. I'm very proud of you. Yes, my son, I see that which no one else sees. I see the battles you have faced in silence. I know those nights when you lay down tired, trying to find strength for the next day. I know the tears you held back so as not to show weakness. I know the moments when your heart was heavy, but you still chose to keep going. You think I only look at that which has gone wrong. You think that I only observe your shortcomings, your mistakes, and the times when you failed to be what you expected of yourself. But I tell you, I don't see you as the world does. The world usually remembers the falls, but I see every time you get up. The world often points out its limitations, but I see the strength that was born within you as you faced every difficulty. The world sees the end result, but I know all the way you have come to get here. My son, there is something going on in your life that your eyes cannot yet fully comprehend. There is a silent work going on in the depths of your soul. While you look at that which seems to be still, I am working in unseen places. You think you are stuck in a phase that does not change, but I tell you, often what seems like a prison in your eyes is the place where I prepare the way for a new chapter. Joseph looked at a cell and believed that his dreams were over. He saw walls, boundaries, and a situation with no way out. But I saw something different. I saw a path being built. I saw a preparation happening. That arrest was not the end of his story. It was just a passage to what I had already prepared. My son, maybe today you are looking at a closed door, at a wait that seems too long, or at a situation that you cannot understand. But I want to remind you of something. What your eyes cannot reach, my hand is already touching. As you listen to this message, I am already working on areas of your life that no one can see. I am strengthening your identity, healing old wounds, bringing peace to tired thoughts, and reminding your heart of who you really are. There's a reason why you've come to this message today. It was not by chance. There is something that your soul needs to remember. Before this message ends, I want to reveal to you a truth that perhaps the pains have tried to hide. You have never ceased to be loved by me. You have never been forgotten. You have never walked alone. I know chapters of your story that no one has read. I know pains that you have never been able to explain. I know dreams that you have kept silent, and today I want you to allow my voice to reach the deepest place of your heart, because before I change what is around you, I begin by restoring that which is within you. Before I put something new in your hands, I strengthen what exists within your soul. My son, there is a purpose being revealed. There is a transformation happening, and it all starts when you understand this truth. I am very proud of you, my beloved child. Remain with me for a few more moments because I want to reveal something that your soul needs to understand. I want to show you that no tears have been wasted, no waiting has been empty, and no difficult moment has been out of my care. I will reveal how I was acting in the places where you thought nothing happened. I'm going to show you how I was strengthening your roots, restoring your identity, and preparing your heart as you traversed paths that seemed meaningless. If this word has already found a place within you, declare your faith. Write Amen as a surrender of your heart to me. If this message spoke to you, strengthen this word by liking and subscribing so that more children can hear my voice. Don't go now. In the last minutes of this message, I have something special to reveal to you about what I have already begun within you. My beloved child, I know those moments when you looked within yourself and felt that you were not worthy of my love. I know the thoughts that went through your mind when you remembered wrong choices, words you wish you had erased, and paths you wish you had avoided. You think that your failures have made you turn away from me, but I tell you, it has often been precisely through them that I have begun to reveal the need for my presence in your life. You think you've fallen too far, but I tell you, no distance is greater than my power to restore. You think you've ruined your story, but I tell you, I'm still working on the pages that you believe can no longer be written. My son, there is a difference between the guilt that tries to bind your soul and the regret that makes room for transformation. Guilt says that you are no longer worthwhile. My voice reminds you that you are still loved. I don't look at you with the same eyes that you look at yourself. You see the mark of the fall, but I see the root of the transformation. You see the moment when you lost strength, but I see all the times when, even though you were hurt, you decided to continue. Peter thought that his biggest mistake would define his story. He had promised to remain by my side, but when the pressure came, he denied that he knew me. At that moment, he felt ashamed and believed that he had lost everything. But, my son, I didn't just see Peter's mistake. I saw his heart, I saw the tears, I saw the repentance, I saw the faith that was still being formed within him. When I looked at Peter at that moment, that gaze carried a message that he could not yet comprehend. Your fall is not the end. I still have a work in you. Luke 22:61-62 says, "And the Lord turned and looked at Peter, and Peter remembered the word of the Lord. And when Peter went out, he wept bitterly." My son, that look was not a look of rejection. It was a look of love. It was a gaze that pierced through shame and reached into the identity that I had placed within it. And today, I look at you in the same way. You think I'm remembering what you have done wrong, but I tell you, I am touching that which needs to be restored within you. You think you need to go back to the past to fix everything. But I tell you, I am already working in the present to transform your consciousness, your vision, and your heart. I don't want you to continue living as someone condemned by an old version of yourself. I want you to understand that there is a new life being formed within you, as it is written in 2 Corinthians 5:17. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. My son, I am proud of every step you have taken towards me. I'm proud of the battles that no one has seen. I am proud of the times when your soul was tired, but you still sought my presence. Don't allow your mind to turn into a courtroom where you are always condemned. Allow my voice to be greater than the accusations that try to erase what I am building. I'm not stuck in your past. I am revealing the new creature that is already being formed within you. My son, if this word has touched your heart, write Amen in the comments, because this act of faith I hear. My beloved son, I know the tears you have tried to hide. I know those moments when you put a smile on your face to reassure other people, while inside you there was a silent battle going on. You think no one noticed your pain, but I tell you, I was present in every detail. I was close when you took a deep breath and decided to continue. I was close when you helped someone even carrying their own wounds. I was close when you chose to show love, even after you've been hurt. My son, I have seen all that you thought you needed to carry alone. There are prayers that did not come out of your mouth, but reached my heart through tears. There are times when you could not find words, but I understood the silence of your soul. You think that a prayer must be perfect to be heard, but I tell you, a sincere heart never goes unnoticed before me. I don't just observe what appears before people. I see the hidden roots. I see what is happening deep within your being. A strong tree does not begin with the fruits that appear. Before it touches the sky, it needs to put down deep roots in the place where no one sees. She must face the darkness of the earth before she reveals her beauty to the world. So is his journey. You think that the hidden periods have no value, but I tell you, it is in the secret that many of the greatest transformations take place. Matthew 6:4 states, "And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." My son, I see that which nobody applauded. I see the correct choices you made when no one was watching. I see the times when you have overcome difficult thoughts and decided to stand firm. Nothing you have experienced has been wasted. You think that some pains have only stolen your joy. But I tell you, Even that which has wounded your soul, I am using to reveal a depth that you have not yet known. I have not allowed certain experiences to pass through your life to destroy you. I'm using each chapter to reveal parts of you that needed to be strengthened. You have asked many times, why did this happen to me? But I tell you, some questions only find an answer when you look back and realize that what seemed like a loss also carried preparation. Job looked at his story and saw losses, pains, and moments that seemed to make no sense. He didn't understand everything that was happening, but he kept seeking my presence. And when the process was over, he realized that his story was not defined by suffering. Job 42:12 says, "And the Lord blessed Job's last state more than the first. My son, the difficult chapter is not the whole book. The night is not the end of the story. The buried seed is not dead. The hidden root is not still. There is life being formed in the invisible. I am strengthening your soul, healing deep places, and teaching your heart to depend less on what changes around you and more on my presence that remains. My son, write, Lord, I believe. And by liking this video, you take this word to another child who also needs to hear that he is not alone. My dearly beloved child, I know how many times you have looked at other people's path and felt a pain within your heart. You saw doors opening for others as you waited for your turn. You saw dreams happening around and started asking if there was something wrong with you. But I tell you, your process has never been a competition. You think you are late, but I tell you, I am working at the right time for your training. You think you have missed opportunities, but I tell you, some doors that did not open were protection for what I am building within you. My son, a fruit harvested ahead of time may look beautiful on the outside, but it still does not have the maturity it needs. This is also the case with some areas of your life. There are things you wish to receive, but I know the weight of them, and I prepare your heart first to sustain them. You look at the delay, but I see the growth. You look at the silence, but I see roots creating depth. You look at the waiting, but I see an invisible construct going on. Remember Joseph, when he received the dreams that I had placed in his heart. He could not imagine the path that lay ahead. He thought those dreams would be fulfilled quickly. But before honor came rejection, loneliness, and imprisonment. He could have looked at the walls of that cell and thought he had been forgotten. But I was looking at that place in a different way. While Joseph saw a prison, I saw a preparation. As Joseph saw an end, I saw a corridor that led to the purpose. My son, maybe you're looking at some area of your life and thinking, why hasn't it happened yet? But I tell you, there are movements going on that you can't see yet. The roots grow before the fruits appear. Morning begins to rise while there is still darkness in the sky. The seed breaks through the earth after spending a hidden period. This is my action. I don't just work on what your eyes can see. I work on what your soul needs to receive. Genesis 50:20 says, "You meant evil against me, but God has made it good." My son, what seemed like a delay in Joseph's story was part of the path I was preparing. The rejection did not cancel the promise. Prison did not destroy the purpose. Time only revealed what was already being formed. I, too, am transforming unexpected paths into stories that reveal my faithfulness. Don't let comparison steal your peace. A seed does not grow by looking at another tree. It grows when it remains connected to the source that feeds your life. My son, I know the right time for each season of your walk. I know the moment when your heart will be ready for that which I am already preparing. Trust in the process that I am carrying out within you. If you believe that my timing is perfect, right, I trust in God's timing. My beloved child, I want you to notice something that often goes unnoticed in your eyes. You are so focused on what you have not yet achieved that you have failed to see all that I have already transformed within you. You look at that which is missing, but I see that which has grown. You look at your limitations, but I see the strength that was born through them. You look at your scars and remember the pains you faced, but I see marks from a walk that prove that you have remained standing. My son, I am proud of the person you are becoming. Not because you never made a mistake, Not because you've never had moments of doubt, but because even though you are going through difficult days, you continue to allow me to work in your heart. You think the transformation happens when everything around you changes. But I tell you, true change begins in the place that no one can see. It starts in the soul. It starts in the thoughts. It begins in that secret space where I find you and strengthen that which was weakened. A tree does not become strong just because its branches appear. It becomes strong because its roots have learned to stand firm when the winds have come. So I am also working on you. You think the difficult periods were just obstacles, but I tell you, many of them were places where I deepened your roots. I'm not just preparing blessings for your hands. I am preparing your heart to carry them without losing their essence, because what arrives before maturity can become a burden. But what is received by a prepared soul becomes an instrument of purpose. Look at Moses. Before leading a people, he spent years in the desert. To human eyes, that time seemed like oblivion. It seemed like a life at a standstill. It seemed that his best years were passing meaninglessly. But I was working, while Moses was tending sheep. I was forming a leader. As he walked through the wilderness, I was teaching patience, dependence, and trust. The wilderness was not the place where I abandoned Moses. It was the place where I prepared Moses. Exodus 14:14 says, "The Lord will fight for you, and you will hold your peace." My son, there are battles that you have won, not because you had all the answers, but because I sustained you when your strength reached its limit. You think it was your own ability that made you get here, but I tell you, my hand was present in every step. When you thought you couldn't go on, I put strength within you. When you thought your faith was small, I preserved that little flame. When you believed there was no way out, I was working in ways that your eyes could not yet perceive. My son, don't despise who you're becoming during the process. The person I am forming within you is more valuable than what you are trying to conquer outside. Do not go now, my child. What follows has been kept especially for you, and it may be what will change what you believe about your future. My dearly beloved child, I know that some closed doors have left marks on your heart. I know that some goodbyes made you look up to the sky and ask, "Why, my God? Why didn't this happen? Why did this opportunity disappear? Why did this person leave my life?" I know these questions because I know the deep places of your soul. But I tell you, not every closed door is a loss. Not every broken path means you've been rejected. You think you missed an opportunity, but I tell you, sometimes I was protecting your story. You think that something has come out of your hands, but I tell you, some things needed to come out of your hands so that you could receive that which I was preparing in a different way. My son, you see only the door before you. I see the whole way. You see that which is left behind, but I see that which was hidden after that choice. A child may cry when a door is closed, because he does not understand the danger that exists on the other side. She thinks she is being prevented from receiving something good. But a loving father knows what her eyes cannot yet perceive. So too is my care for you. You have asked for an answer, but I often answer through protection. You have asked for a way, but I also know the places where your soul could be lost. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." My son, your vision reaches only a small part of the story. You see the now, but I see the before, the during, and the after. I see what you have lost, but I also see what I have preserved. I see the tears that came after a few goodbyes, but I also see the peace that was born when you realized that some absences were necessary. You think that closed door has delayed your life, but I tell you, some closed doors are aligning you with the place where your soul needs to be. A seed does not grow in just any soil. It needs the right environment to take root and produce fruit. So, it is with you. There are places where you have tried to stay, but I knew that your roots would not grow there. There are environments that I have allowed you to come out of because there was a new depth being formed within you. My son, I am proud of you because even though you did not understand all the ways, you continued to trust. even when a door closed before your eyes. You did not let your heart close to me. I am restoring your way of seeing losses. I'm touching your memory and showing that not everything that ended was a defeat. Some things ended because they fulfilled their part in their history. Some doors closed because I was leading you in a direction that your eyes could not yet see. My son, state in the comments, I get that word. And by leaving your like, you help to take this message to another heart. My beloved son, I know that there are times when the desert seems too quiet. I know there are phases where you look around and feel like you're walking alone, like your prayers are going up and no answer is coming. But I tell you, the desert has never been the place where I have abandoned you. You think you are alone, but I tell you, my presence is closer than you think. You think silence means distance, but I tell you, often, silence is the place where I am strengthening your soul. In the desert, many things are revealed. When distractions subside, you begin to notice what you couldn't hear before. When human supports become smaller, you learn to trust my presence more deeply. My son, the desert did not come to destroy you. He came to show that you don't depend only on what your hands can hold. The people of Israel walked through the desert for years. They looked at that place and often felt fear, doubt, and weariness. But I was there every day. I sent food when they had no way to produce it. I guided their steps when they didn't know the way. I remained present, even when they could not understand the process. Deuteronomy 8:2 says, "You shall remember all the way in which the Lord your God has led you." My son, I want you to remember the way. Don't just look at what was missing. Look also at that which I have held. You think you have come this far alone, but I tell you, my hand has been there every moment when you thought you could not go on. I was on that day when his strength seemed to run out. I was on that night when his mind was tired and his heart was carrying worries. I was when you had no answers, but you found within yourself a small hope to take one more step. You think the desert has taken something from you. But I tell you, the desert has also revealed something within you. He revealed a faith that you may not have known you had. It revealed a resistance that was born while you were going through difficult times. He revealed that his strength was not only in the favorable circumstances, but in my presence, sustaining his walk. A tree that never faces wind does not develop deep roots. Some storms come not to uproot you, but to strengthen that which is hidden. So it is with your soul. I'm working on the invisible roots. I'm strengthening your confidence. I am teaching your heart to rest even when the scenery has not yet changed. My son, do not confuse a difficult phase with a forgotten history. The desert is only part of the way. The seed remains hidden before it breaks through the earth. Night lingers before dawn reveals its light, and as you go through that moment, I am still present. I continue to take care of it. I continue to form something within you that no difficulty can destroy. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you become an instrument in my hands, helping this word reach those who need to hear the most, who have not been forgotten. My beloved son, even before anyone knew your name, before anyone recognized your capabilities or saw what exists within you, I already knew your essence. I knew his tears before they fell. I knew your dreams before you could put them into words. I knew his story before it began to be written before his eyes. You think that your worth depends on what people see. But I tell you, your worth was born in me, not in the opinion of those around you. You think you need to prove who you are in order to be accepted. But I tell you, before any conquest, you were already known and loved by me. Jeremiah 1:5 states, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you." My son, this truth needs to touch the deepest place of your soul. You are not an accident. You are not a story without direction. You are not defined by the times you failed, the words they said against you, or the doors that didn't open. I have placed something within you that no circumstance can erase. There is a seed planted in your life. You may not yet see the tree. You may not yet see the fruits. But I know that which is growing in the invisible. You think that nothing special exists within you, but I tell you, I have put purpose, ability, and value into your walk. A small seed carries an entire forest within it. To human eyes, it appears simple and unimportant, but I know the life hidden within it. So are you. Many times you look at yourself for limitations, but I look for possibilities. You remember the mistakes, but I see the learning that has been born of them. You see your scars, but I see the maturity that has been built through them. My child, do not allow temporary moments to define an identity that I established even before your birth. I don't just see who you were. I see what I am forming within you now. I'm touching thoughts that have been wounded by fear. I am strengthening areas of your soul that have become weary from rejection. I'm restoring the way you see yourself. Because when you forget your worth, you begin to accept less than what I have prepared for your life. You think you need to find your value in achievements, recognition, or approvals, but I tell you, your greatest value lies in the fact that you belong to me. I know parts of you that no one knows. I see battles that have never been told. I see correct choices that no one has noticed. I see times when you decided to continue, even without receiving applause. My son, there is something in your life that is still being revealed. Not all that I have placed within you has completely appeared. Just as dawn begins with a small light on the horizon, what I am revealing in you often begins silently. There is more inside you than your eyes can perceive. There is a bigger story than your current difficulties. There is a purpose that lives on. There is someone in your heart now. Write that person's name in the comments. I hear every name you declare. My beloved child, perhaps the greatest battle you face today is not in the circumstances around you, but within the thoughts that try to tell you who you are. Perhaps the biggest struggle is to believe everything that pain has made you think about yourself. You think that your mistakes have diminished your worth, but I tell you, your failures have never been greater than my love for you. You think that your falls have made you lose your place, but I tell you, when you have fallen, I have not moved away. I approached. I was close when you felt ashamed. I was close when you thought you had let everyone down. I was close when you looked at your own history and thought there was nothing left to rebuild. My son, I have never failed to see the value that exists within you. People may know parts of your history, but I know everything. I know the intentions of your heart. I know the battles you won in silence. I know every little choice you made to keep going, even when your soul was tired. You think that I observe only the great moments, but I tell you, I also see the small victories that no one notices. I see when you choose to forgive even though you have been hurt. I see when you choose to stand firm even without receiving recognition. I see it when you get up in the morning and decide to keep walking, even though you carry concerns that no one knows about. My son, I am proud of you because I know the path you have traveled. It's not just about where you've arrived. It's about everything he had to overcome to get here. A tree that remains standing after many storms carries a force that did not exist before the winds came. So it is with your soul. You think that difficulties have only taken things away from you, but I tell you, many of them have revealed a strength that was hidden within you. I was strengthening your steps when you thought you couldn't keep going. I was sustaining her faith when it seemed small. I was putting hope inside of you when everything around seemed to tell you to give up. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." My son, this is not just a beautiful phrase. This is a truth that sustains his journey. I'm with you, not just on days when everything goes well, not only when the doors open. I am present in the silent days, in the moments of waiting, and in the places where you still cannot see a way out. You think you need to find strength alone, but I tell you, my presence is already working within you. I am restoring your consciousness. I'm healing the way you see yourself. I am removing the voice of condemnation and strengthening the assurance that you are loved. My son, do not allow a difficult phase to convince you that your story is over. The chapter that hurt your soul has no authority to erase all that I am forming in you. Do not stop Now, my child. What comes in the next few minutes may be the answer you've been seeking for so long, and I've saved it for this very moment. My beloved child, I know that waiting can seem like a difficult place to stay. I know there are times when you look around and feel like everyone is moving forward while you continue in the same place. But I tell you, that which you call a stop, I call preparation. You think that nothing is happening because your eyes cannot yet see external changes. But I tell you, there is a transformation happening in the depths of your soul. Before a tree can reach great heights, its roots must find depth. Before its branches are able to bear fruit, its roots must learn to stand firm. I work this way with you. You want to see leaves appearing, but I am strengthening the roots. You want to see results, but I am building foundations. You want a quick answer, but I am forming within you a structure that can remain when that which you have asked for arrives. My son, many people desire fruit, but few understand the value of roots. The fruits show what everyone can see. The roots reveal what sustains when no one is looking. That's why some phases of your life seem silent, not because I am distant, but because I am working in deep places. You think silence means forgetfulness, but I tell you, silence is often the environment where I strengthen your confidence. You think that the absence of signs means the absence of my action, but I tell you, not everything that grows makes noise. A seed placed in the ground does not announce the moment when it begins to take root. It remains hidden, seemingly forgotten, but inside it, there is a life waiting for the right moment to appear. My son, maybe you're looking at your own story and thinking, I've been pushed aside, nothing has changed, I was left behind. But I tell you, you have not been buried by circumstances. You were planted by me. There's a difference between being buried and being planted. That which is buried represents something that has ended. But what is planted carries within it a promise of growth. I'm using this time to touch areas that no one sees. I'm healing old thoughts. I'm restoring your identity. I'm strengthening your faith in places where there was fear before. Because I don't just want to hand something new into your hands. I want to prepare your heart to recognize the value of what I am already forming. Isaiah 55:10-11 says, For as the rain and snow come down from the heavens and return not there, until they first water the earth, so shall the word that proceed out of my mouth be. It shall not return to me void. My child, my word continues to work within you, even when you don't realize it, even when you don't feel it, even when the scenario looks the same. The root continues to grow underground. The light continues to overcome the darkness before the dawn is completely revealed. And what I build in the secret of your soul remains protected from everything that tries to destroy you. Keep allowing me to strengthen your roots, because a life grounded in me depends not only on what happens around you, but on what I have established within you. My beloved child, I know that many times you look back and feel that some years have passed without what you hoped for happening. You look back on the time that has passed and think about the opportunities that didn't come, the dreams that haven't come true yet, and the paths that seemed slower than you imagined. But I tell you, you are measuring your history only by the results that have appeared. While I am looking at all that has been transformed within you, you think you've wasted time, but I tell you, not a single moment when I was working on your soul has been wasted. There are processes that do not appear in people's eyes, but that completely change a life. I saw wounds that you tried to hide. I saw fears that you tried to face alone. I saw parts of your heart that got tired of fighting and needed to learn to trust again. You think some periods were empty, but I tell you, many times I was filling spaces within you that no one could reach. Before rebuilding a house, it is necessary to strengthen its structure. Before building big walls, it is necessary to take care of the foundations that will support everything that will be built. So I work with you. I'm not just concerned with what you achieve. I'm looking at the person you become as you walk with me. Because what comes into your hands without transformation within your soul can be easily lost. But that which is born of a strengthened heart remains. You think you're late, but I tell you, I was restoring that which no one saw. I was playing old thoughts. I was healing painful memories. I was rebuilding his confidence. I was teaching you to find value, not only in what you can do, but in what you are before me. Look at David. Before facing a giant in front of a crowd, he spent years in the field tending sheep. To human eyes, that time seemed too simple. It seemed like an ordinary phase without major events. But I was there. While David was tending the sheep, I was building up courage. While he remained in the secret, I was strengthening his intimacy with me. While no one knew his name, I already knew the purpose I had placed within him. Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes have seen my body still unformed, and in your book all these things were written." My son, I know every chapter of your story. I know pages that you would like to delete. I know moments that you would like to change, but I also know everything that has been born within you through those moments. Do not despise hidden periods. It is in the secret that deep roots grow. It is in silence that many seeds begin to break. It is during the night that your eyes learn to perceive the first signs of dawn. You think that nothing has changed because you have not yet seen the full light. But I tell you, transformation begins before it is perceived. I'm already working in places that your eyes can't yet reach. I'm already restoring parts of your history that seemed forgotten. I am already strengthening your soul to understand that each stage had a purpose. That word didn't come to you by chance. Write in the comments, "I trust God," and let that be your act of faith for me today. My beloved child, I know that there are days when the silence around you makes you believe that you are walking alone. There are times when you look at the circumstances and feel that no one fully understands what goes on inside your heart. You think you have to carry it all alone. But I tell you, my presence has never departed from you. I was present on the days when you smiled at people while your soul was tired. I was present when you tried to find answers and couldn't understand the way. I was present when you felt afraid of tomorrow, but still found the strength to continue. My child, my presence does not depend on the scenery around you. I'm not just in the moments of celebration. I too am in the valleys, in the hard days and nights when your thoughts seem louder than your hope. You think you need great signs to be sure that I am with you. But I tell you, many times I reveal my presence through the small details that you hardly notice. A door that closed and protected his path. A person who appeared at the moment when his soul needed support. A strength that was born within you when you believed you no longer had strength. All of this bears marks of my hand, watching over your history. You think that some things happened by chance, but I tell you, there are details that carry purpose. There is care even in moments that you do not understand. Look at Elijah. He hoped to find my presence in great manifestations. He expected to hear my voice in the strong wind, the earthquake, and the fire. But I was also present in something simple, in a soft, quiet voice. 1 Kings 19:12 says, "And after the fire, a still small voice." My son, I don't need to make noise to be acting. I don't need to reveal all the details to prove that I'm taking care of you. Often, faith grows just as you learn to recognize my presence, even though you don't see everything. The root grows hidden before appearing above the ground. The seed begins its transformation within the darkness before it touches the light. Dawn comes slowly, but each small sign reveals that the night is losing its strength. So it is with you. You think that nothing is changing because you have not yet seen the full result. But I tell you, there is an invisible work happening within your soul. I'm playing places you can't reach. I'm strengthening your confidence. I am bringing peace to thoughts that were once dominated by fear. I am teaching your heart to realize that my presence is not limited to what your eyes can see. My child, do not ignore the small signs of my care. Sometimes the answer you expect comes not as a big change, but as a peace that arises in the midst of the storm. Sometimes the miracle doesn't start by changing the environment around you. It starts by changing the way your soul sees the environment. And when your view changes, you realize that I have never been far away. I was in every detail. I was at every step. I was sustaining you even when you didn't realize it. My son, if you are here, it is because I have allowed it. I have something to reveal to you later today. Don't leave before you've heard what's next. My beloved son, I know the marks you carry. I know memories that still squeeze your heart when you think about them. I know moments that left deep scars on your soul and situations that made you question whether you could continue. You look at these marks and think they show where you have lost. But I tell you, some scars are testimonies of places where I have sustained you. You think that what happened destroyed a part of your history, but I tell you, that could not destroy that which I put within you. A tree that faces storms carries marks on its trunk, but these marks do not mean that it has ceased to live. They reveal that she remained firm as the winds tried to knock her down. So it is with you. I don't see their scars as signs of defeat. I see it as reminders that you went through difficult times and are still standing. My son, I do not waste any tears. I don't ignore any pain. I don't forget any moment when his soul needed to be strengthened. You think that some experiences were just losses, but I tell you, I am able to turn broken places into sources of hope. I take what seemed meaningless and reveal a new meaning. I take what tried to hurt your identity and use it to show the strength that exists within you. Look at Joseph. He carried the pain of rejection from his own brothers. He knew loneliness, injustice, and moments when it seemed like his story had been cut short. He could have allowed that wound to define who he was. He could have looked back and believed he would never be able to trust again. But I was working even on the chapters that seemed darker. The rejection that tried to hurt Joseph became part of the story that I used to save many lives. You think that what happened to you has erased your purpose, but I tell you, no wound has the power to erase what I have planted within your soul. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God." My son, I never promised that all the paths would be easy. I never said you wouldn't face hard days, but I promised my presence on every path. I was with you in pain. I was with you waiting. I was with you when people didn't understand your struggle. I was with you when you needed to gather the strength to continue. You think that your story is marked only by the moments that have hurt you, but I tell you, your story is also marked by my faithfulness. The scars you carry are not the end of your story. They are signs that you have been through places where many would have given up, but you have stayed. They reveal that there is a force within you that was born through my presence. My son, I am still restoring the way you look at your past. I'm showing that not everything that hurt came to destroy you. Some pains were places where I revealed a deeper part of what you have become. I've been good at your life in ways you haven't even noticed. Write in the comments, Amen, and proclaim with me my goodness over you, my dearly beloved child. I know that there are times when your heart tries to convince you that I am far away. There are days when silence seems greater than your faith, and when your emotions try to make you believe that your prayers have not reached me. But I tell you, I have never been far away. You think, God is not listening to me. I tell you, even before the words leave your lips, I already know what exists within your heart. You think, my prayer has been lost along the way. I tell you, no tear shed before me goes unnoticed. I know prayers that you have said silently. I know requests that you have not been able to express. I know those times when you just closed your eyes and waited for my presence to bring peace to your soul. My son, I do not depend on your emotions to be near you. My presence doesn't change because your day was hard. My presence does not disappear because you had doubts. My presence does not turn away because you have gone through a phase of weakness. It is grounded in my promise. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is near to those who are broken in heart and saves those who are contrite in spirit." My son, I am near just in the places where you think you are most alone. I'm close when your heart is tired. I'm close when you don't understand the way. I'm close when you look at a situation and can't find a way out. You think you need to feel something extraordinary to know that I am with you. But I tell you, my presence often reveals itself in simple things. Just as the air is around you even when your eyes can't see it, I keep enveloping your life even when your feelings can't perceive it. You don't have to see to believe that there is something holding your breath, Likewise, you don't have to see everything to trust that my hand is guiding your steps. My son, I am present in the details that you consider small. I'm in that strength that appeared when you thought you couldn't go on. I am in that peace that came at an unexpected time. I am in that thought of hope that was born when all seemed lost. You think these moments are just coincidences, but I tell you, they are often small signs of my care reaching your soul. I'm not just in the great miracles that everyone can see. I'm also in the silent movements that transform you from within. I'm touching your mind. I'm bringing rest to tired thoughts. I'm strengthening your confidence. I'm reminding your heart of a truth that hardships have tried to erase. You've never been abandoned. My son, when you look back, you will realize that many times when you thought you were alone were exactly the times when I was carrying you. This message is not for everyone, my son. If you are here, it is because I have chosen you to hear what comes next. Are you ready? My dearly beloved child, I know there are times when you look back and see only that which you have lost. You remember the doors that closed, the people who left, the plans that didn't happen the way you imagined. But I tell you, your story was not written by your losses. You think that what has come out of your hands has defined your destiny. But I tell you, no loss is greater than the purpose I have placed within you. You see a torn page, but I see the whole book. You see an interrupted chapter, but I see a story that is still being written. My son, you often judge your journey by looking only at what has disappeared. But I look at that which has remained within you. I preserved your faith. I preserved your capacity to love. I preserved the hope that, even small, remained alive within his heart. You think some changes were the end, but I tell you, many changes were just transitions to a new direction. Abraham had to leave a known land to walk toward something he could not yet see. He needed to step out of what was comfortable to experience that which I had prepared. If he had remained attached to the known place, he would never have discovered the path of promise. So it is with you. There are places you wanted to stay, but I knew that your soul needed to grow beyond that environment. There are cycles that ended because they fulfilled their part in their history. You think you've lost security, but I tell you, I was teaching you to trust me more than the things that can change. Look at Moses. Before fulfilling his mission, he had to leave the palace. He knew a change that seemed like a loss. He left a place of position and went to a place of silence. But what seemed like a fall was a preparation. In the wilderness, I was forming something that the palace could never teach. I was creating depth. I was strengthening his dependency. I was preparing his heart to carry a greater responsibility. My son, sometimes you ask me to give back that which has been lost, but I am working to reveal something deeper, who you become after the process. Because some things need to come out so that new roots can grow. A tree doesn't grow without letting some old leaves fall. Nature understands something that your heart often forgets. There are phases in which renewal begins precisely through what seems like a loss. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the thoughts I think of you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you the end you are waiting for." My son, I know thoughts about you that are bigger than the moment you are living. I see beyond the closed door. I see beyond the farewell. I see beyond what you have failed to comprehend. Nothing that I allow to touch your life is outside of my care. I continue to work on the details. I continue to form your story. I continue to reveal that what seemed like a loss was also part of the path that was leading you closer to the person I am forming within you. My dearly beloved child, I know that many times you try to hide your weaknesses because you believe that they diminish your worth. You look at what you can't do, at the times when you feel tired, and at the areas of your life that still need transformation, and you start to think that it's not enough. But I tell you, your weakness does not cancel out that which I have placed within you. You think you need to be strong all the time to be loved by me, but I tell you, I never expected you to walk alone. You think you need to have all the answers to keep going, but I tell you, It is precisely when you recognize your dependence on me that my strength begins to reveal itself in a deeper way. My son, there's a hidden beauty in surrender. When you stop trying to carry all the weights with your bare hands and allow my presence to sustain your soul, something begins to change within you. You think that depending on me is a sign of weakness, but I tell you, to depend on me is to find the true source of strength. A tree does not grow because it tries to live apart from the earth. It stands firm because its roots are connected to the source that feeds your life. So are you. Its strength is not in never feeling fear. Your strength is not in never getting tired. Your strength lies in staying connected to me, even when the winds come. Look at Paul. He carried a weakness that he wished to remove. He asked for it to be taken away, but I showed something greater. My grace was sufficient. Paul wanted the difficulty to disappear, but I was revealing a strength that did not depend on the absence of the difficulty. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you, because my power is made perfect in weakness." My son, this truth is also for you. I don't need to wait for you to become perfect to act through your life. I don't need all your wounds to be closed to touch other people through your story. I work through available hearts. I work through those who recognize that they need me. You think that your limitations are barriers, but I tell you, they are often places where my presence manifests itself most strongly. A small seed looks fragile when it is placed in the ground. It seems too small to carry a large tree inside it. But I know the hidden life. I know the potential that exists even when human eyes can't perceive it. My son, I know your limitations, but I also know the purpose I have placed within you. I know your moments of weariness, but I also know the strength that I am already forming within your soul. Do not be ashamed of needing me. Do not hide your wounds before me. Don't try to look strong when your heart needs to be taken care of. I am the one who strengthens the weary, restores the wounded, and sustains the one who recognizes that he needs my hand. There are so many other children of mine who need to hear this now. By liking this video and subscribing to this channel, you become part of the chain that I use to bring my word to those who are on edge, my dearly beloved child. I know that there are times when you look at your walk and feel that you are just trying to get through another day. You look at the challenges, the worries, and everything you have to face, and you think your only mission is to survive. But I tell you, you're not just surviving. There is a transformation happening within you. While you think you are just resisting, I am strengthening your soul. While you think that you are just trying not to fall, I am forming within you a new way of looking at life. You think you are stuck in a difficult phase, but I tell you, this phase is also revealing who you are becoming. I'm teaching your heart to trust even when you don't have all the answers. I'm teaching your mind to rest even when there are situations that you still can't solve. I am teaching your soul to find security not in circumstances, but in my presence. My son, you often look at yourself through the marks of the past. You remember the words that hurt you. You remember the times when you failed. You remember the situations that made you believe you weren't capable. But I tell you, your identity is not tied to what has happened to you. You are not just what you have lived. You are not just what you have lost. You are not just what other people have said about you. There is something deeper being revealed within you. A seed does not reveal all its greatness at the moment it is planted. She carries a hidden life that only appears at the right time. So it is with you. I have placed within your soul an identity that does not depend on the circumstances around you. You think you need to go back to who you were before the pains, but I tell you, I am forming something new within you. I'm not just restoring old parts. I am revealing a new perception of who you are before me. Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I live, no longer I, but Christ lives in me. My son, when you understand this truth, you stop looking at yourself only with the eyes of human limitations. You begin to realize that there is a greater force at work within you. You begin to understand that the battles did not have the final word. You begin to see that each process has also been used to bring you closer to me. I'm touching places inside you that were hidden. I'm healing thoughts that have been built up by fear. I am restoring the trust that difficulties have tried to steal. You think you are just trying to go on, but I tell you, I am already forming a new consciousness within you. The person you were before the storms is not the same person who is emerging after them, because each season has left something in you. Each challenge brought depth. Each tear taught your soul to recognize my presence in a more intimate way. My child, continue to allow me to reveal who you really are, because what I am building within you is greater than what has tried to define your story. My dearly beloved son, I know how many times you have tried to prove your worth. I know how many times you felt you needed to show people that you were capable, strong, and enough. You carried weights that weren't meant for your hands. You tried to gain acceptance. You tried to receive recognition. You tried to show that you deserved to be seen. But I tell you, before any achievement, before any applause, before any result, you already had value to me. You think you need to accomplish something great to be important, but I tell you, your importance was not born from what you do. It was born from what you are before me. Gold does not become precious because someone recognizes its value. It already has value before it is even found. So are you. Even when no one noticed his struggle, I did. Even when no one recognized their efforts, I recognized them. Even when you thought you were going unnoticed, I was looking at every detail of your walk. My son, you often look in the wrong places for confirmation that I have already placed within your soul. You seek approval from people, but you forget that you have already received love from the Father. You seek a voice saying that it is enough, while my voice is already telling your heart that you belong to me. You think you need to convince the world of who you are, but I tell you, you don't need to prove to a creation what the Creator already knows. I know your worth. I know your essence. I know what's inside of you before you can even see it. A small seed seems simple to human eyes, but inside it, there is an entire tree, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. So is your life. There are capacities, dreams, and purposes that are still being revealed at the right time. You think you're too small, but I tell you, I know the greatness I have put within you. You think your limitations define your paths, but I tell you, my presence is greater than your limitations. Matthew 6:26 says, "Look at the birds of the air, which neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of much more value than they? My son, I look after you because you belong to me. I don't just take care of you when you get it right. I don't stay close only when you can fulfill everything you have planned. My care does not depend on your perfection. My care is born of my love. I know the days when you felt insufficient. I know the times when you compared your walk to other people's and thought you were falling behind. But I tell you, your journey doesn't have to look like anyone else's. A tree does not look at another tree and try to produce the same fruit in the same time. It just stays connected to the root and grows according to what has been put into it. My child, stay connected to me. I'm already restoring the way you see your own worth. I'm already playing places where rejection has left marks. I am already reminding your soul of a truth that has never changed. You are precious to me. If this video is providing answers you need to hear, write in the comments, "God cares for me," and prophesy this truth about your own life. My beloved child, the time has come to look at your journey with a new perception. For a long time, you have interpreted your story only through what you could see, but I tell you, there is a part of your story that happened in the invisible. You think you were lost, but I tell you, I was leading your steps. You think you were walking aimlessly, but I tell you, every path, every encounter, and even every change was being used to form something within you. You think some phases were just delays, but I tell you, many of them were preparations. My son, you looked into the silence and believed that I had forgotten your name. You looked at the weight and thought nothing was happening. But I tell you, while you waited, I worked. While you saw no answers, I strengthened your roots. While you did not notice changes around you, I transformed deep parts of your soul. The seed does not know the size of the tree it will carry inside it. It does not know the height of its branches, the quantity of its fruits, or the shade it will offer one day. It just remains in the process. She accepts the land, it receives the rain, it grows in the hidden place where no one can observe. So it is with you, my son. You think that to be hidden means to be forgotten, but I tell you, many of the greatest works begin far from people's eyes. Before David was seen before a crowd, he was formed in the field. Before Joseph was honored before a nation, he was prepared in places where no one recognized his worth. Before anything appears on the outside, I work on the inside first. I was strengthening his mind. I was maturing his heart. I was teaching his soul to stand firm, even when circumstances didn't change. My son, do not confuse lack of visibility with lack of purpose. You don't have to be seen by everyone to be prepared by me. A root grows in the dark, but it is what supports the tree when the winds come. A foundation is hidden, but it is the foundation that maintains a firm construction. Such is the work I do in you. You think I was far away, but I tell you, I was closer than you imagine. I was using each experience to build within you a strength that doesn't just depend on what's going on around you. I was removing old fears, I was healing silent wounds. I was showing that your identity is not tied to what you have lost, but to what I have placed within you. Isaiah 49:15 says, "Can a woman so forget her child that she nurses, that she does not have compassion on him, the son of her womb? But though she should forget him, yet I will not forget thee." My son, I have never forgotten you. I never lost control of his story. I never stopped working on the details that seemed small. What your eyes called delay, I called preparation. What your mind called silence, I called construction. What you called the end I was using as the beginning of a new understanding. What comes next may be the exact signal you asked for. I saved it for this moment. Stay with me. My beloved son, I know that there are pains that have marked your journey. I know there are moments that you would like to erase from your memory, situations that made your heart wonder why you had to go through that. You've looked at some experiences and thought they came just to take something away from you. But I tell you, some pains were not enough to destroy your life. They revealed a force that was already being formed within you. You think that difficulty has shown your weakness, but I tell you, many times it has revealed a resistance that you did not yet know. The gold remains hidden until it goes through the process that reveals its true purity. It does not lose its value when it passes through the fire. On the contrary, it is in the fire that what is true appears. So it is with your soul. You think that trials have diminished you, but I tell you, many of them have deepened your roots. You think that the fire of difficulties means that I have abandoned you, but I tell you, there are times when my presence reveals itself in a more profound way, precisely in the midst of the flames. Remember, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were thrown into a furnace that seemed to be the end of their story. To human eyes, there was no way out. The sentence seemed determined. The fire seemed bigger than any possibility of survival. But I was there. The fire did not destroy that which I had built in them. The furnace had no authority over the identity they carried. Daniel 3:25 says, "But I see 4 men loose walking in the fire and not harmed, and the appearance of the fourth is like the Son of God." My son, observe this truth. They did not find my presence after coming out of the furnace. They found my presence within her. You think you need to wait for the difficulty to end, to feel my closeness, but I tell you, I walk with you in the middle of the process. I was there when you faced days that seemed impossible. I was present when you had to continue without understanding the reason. I was present when your human strength reached its limit, and yet you found a way to take another step. My son, you look at the furnace and see only suffering. I look into the furnace and see a place where your faith has been revealed. I see a place where you discovered that you were stronger than you imagined. I see a place where he realized that his life was not sustained by his own strength alone. The marks that remained are not signs of abandonment. They are reminders that you went through difficult places and stood tall. You think your scars tell a story of defeat, but I tell you, they tell a story of survival, growth, and transformation. I'm restoring the way you see your own history. I am removing the lie that you are only what you have suffered. You are not your loss. You are not your failure. You are not the darkest day you have faced. You are someone I sustained when your own strength ran out. And as you look back trying to understand each battle, I am revealing that none of them have been able to erase that which I have put within you, my dearly beloved child. I know that part of your heart that wants to understand all the details before resting. I know this need to know the next step, to see the complete path and to have all the answers before moving forward. You think, when I understand everything, then I can trust. But I tell you, true trust is not born when all mysteries are revealed. It is born when you choose to remain with me, even when there are still unanswered questions. My son, you want to see the whole road, but often I illuminate only the next step. You think that a lack of detail means a lack of direction, but I tell you, it is often in this place of uncertainty that your faith takes deeper root. A child holds his father's hand because he trusts him, not because he knows the whole path that will be traveled. So I also want to teach your heart. I'm not just taking you to a destination. I'm forming a relationship of trust during the walk. The seed does not need to see the tree ready to start growing. She does not know the height she will reach. It does not know the fruits it will bear. It just remains connected to the source of life that I have placed within it. Such is faith. It grows in the invisible. It is strengthened when you choose to trust, even without seeing everything. Look at Abraham. He received a promise, but he did not receive all the details of the path. He had to leave the known place and walk towards the unknown. To human eyes, it seemed like a decision with no guarantees. It seemed like an unsafe walk. But he had something bigger than all the answers. He had a promise. Hebrews 11:8 says, "By faith Abraham, being called, obeyed, going to a place which he was to receive as an inheritance, and he went out, not knowing where he was going." My son, Abraham did not walk because he knew all the details. He walked because he knew who had made the promise. And that's what I'm teaching your heart. You think you need to control all the ways to be safe, but I tell you, true safety is in knowing that I am guiding your steps. You think you need to understand each reason before you accept the process, but I tell you, there are things that will only be understood after you go through the step. Just as a lamp illuminates just a few feet of a dark road, my presence reveals what you need to keep walking. I don't hide the way to confuse you. I don't hold back answers to leave you lost. I am forming within you a deeper dependence. Because when you learn to trust me, you are no longer ruled by fear of the unknown. You begin to walk with peace. You begin to realize that tomorrow is not out of my care. My son, I am already working in the places which you cannot yet see. I'm already preparing dates, strengthening your soul, and aligning details that your eyes can't yet reach. There is something in your heart that you have not yet given me completely. Write in the comments what you're uploading. It could be a word, a request, a name. My dearly beloved son, I know the rejections that have touched your heart deeply. I know those moments when you looked at a door that wouldn't open and asked if there was something wrong with you. I know the times when you've seen other people being chosen and felt like you've been left behind. You asked, why didn't they choose me? You asked, why did this person leave? You asked, why wasn't this place I wanted prepared for me? My son, I have heard every one of these questions, but I tell you, not all rejection is a loss. You think you have been left out, but I tell you, many times I was separating you from places that did not match what I am forming within you. You think that closed door has diminished your value, but I tell you, your value has never been tied to an opportunity, a person, or someone's recognition. Diamonds remain precious, even when they are hidden. It does not lose its essence because it has not yet been found. So are you. Even when no one realized their ability, I did. Even when no one recognized his walk, I recognized it. Even when you felt invisible, I was looking at that which was being built within you. Look at Joseph. He was rejected by his own brothers. Those who were supposed to protect him were those who tried to drive him away. They looked at Joseph and saw only a young man with dreams. They looked at their history through their own limitations. But I saw something different. I saw someone being prepared to save a generation. Genesis 37:19-20 shows his brothers saying, "Here comes the chief dreamer." They tried to interrupt Jose's walk. They tried to erase that which I had placed within him. But they could not stop the purpose I had set. My son, what people reject is not always what I reject. Sometimes, what someone can't recognize in you is exactly what I'm quietly cultivating. You think you need everyone's approval to keep going, but I tell you, when you know who you are in me, rejection loses its power to define your identity. I'm restoring the way you see yourself. I'm removing the need to prove your worth to people who might never fully understand your walk. I am strengthening within you the certainty that you belong to me before you belong anywhere. My son, some people have left because they could not walk with the version of you that I am forming. Some environments were left behind because his soul needed to grow beyond them. Some farewells made room for a new depth. A tree does not grow when it remains attached to a small pot forever. There are times when the roots need space to expand. So is your life. I didn't allow some breakups to hurt you. I was protecting what I put inside you. I was preparing your heart to understand that your worth is not born of human acceptance. It is born of my love. And when you understand this, you begin to walk with a freedom that no rejection can take away from you. My beloved child, I know the times when you prayed and felt as if heaven was silent. I know those phases when you called my name, poured out your heart before me, and waited for an answer that seemed not to come. I know the restlessness that was born within you. I know the thoughts that asked, "Is God listening to me?" But I tell you, silence does not mean absence. You think that when you don't see movement, nothing is happening, but I tell you, there are deep movements going on where your eyes cannot yet reach. A seed placed in the ground spends time hidden. To those looking from the outside, it seems that nothing has changed. The land remains in the same place. The surface remains without signs, but within that seed, there is a transformation taking place. The roots are emerging. Life is being formed. The preparation is happening. So, too, is my action in your life. You think you are standing still, but I tell you, I am working in the hidden. You think your prayer has gone unanswered, but I tell you, I am acting in areas that you cannot yet perceive. There are things that I am aligning. There are thoughts that I am transforming. There are parts of your soul that I am strengthening. Because some answers are not enough just to change a situation. Some answers come after the heart is prepared to receive them. My son, I know what you have asked for, but I also know what you need. You see a small part of the story. I see the beginning, the path, and the complete purpose. Look at Lazarus. His sisters expected me to arrive quickly. They knew that I could heal him. They believed in my power. But time passed. The situation worsened. In their eyes, it seemed that I had arrived too late. They looked at the weight and felt pain. They looked at the silence and thought that I was not answering, but I was seeing something bigger. What seemed backward in their eyes carried a revelation they did not yet know. John 11:40 says, "Have I not told you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" My son, sometimes I don't answer in the way you expect because I am working in a greater depth than what you have asked for. You ask for a solution, but I am forming a transformation. You ask for an open door, but I am preparing you to walk through it. You ask for a change around, but I am strengthening first that which exists within you. Silence is not the place where I abandon you. Often, silence is where I prepare the next chapter. The root grows before the fruit appears. The dawn light begins before the sun is fully seen. The invisible work takes place before the visible revelation. My son, keep trusting. Do not interpret my stillness as carelessness. I am still present. I continue to work. I continue to drive your story even when you can't see the next steps. You were reached because you were chosen. Write in the comments, God has chosen me, and live that truth every day, my beloved child. I know how many times you have gone back to the past and allowed old memories to define the way you see yourself in the present. I know how many times you've looked at mistakes made, words spoken, or difficult moments, and allowed those things to create a distorted picture of who you really are. You think, I messed up, so I'm a failure. But I tell you, I see someone in transformation. You think, I failed, so I lost my worth. But I tell you, your mistakes are no greater than the restoration I am accomplishing within you. My son, when I look at your life, I don't just see the chapters that you would like to erase. I see the full story. I see the tears that came after mistakes. I see the learning that was born through difficulties. I see the change that has begun within your heart. You look at your scars and remember the pain, but I see the identity that I am restoring. Before any mistakes happened, before anyone said anything about you, I already knew what I had put into your soul. His identity was not born from his most difficult moments. Your identity was born in me, my son. Many people spend their entire lives trying to rebuild an image that has been shattered by circumstances. They carry names they received from other people. They carry labels that were born of a moment of weakness. But I tell you, what people have said about you has no more authority than what I have declared about you. Look at Jacob. He carried a name linked to his old history. His name bore marks of deception and memories of a past that seemed to define who he was. But he had a date with me, and in that encounter, his identity was transformed. Genesis 32:28 says, Your name will no longer be called Jacob, but Israel. My son, I didn't just look at who Jacob had been. I looked at who he was becoming. I wasn't stuck in his past. I revealed the purpose that existed beyond your mistakes. And I do the same with you. You think you need to continue carrying the weight of your old self. But I tell you, I am already working on a new perception of who you are. You are not just what happened to you. You are not just the pain you faced. You are not just the rejection you received. You are not just the moment you fell. You are someone I keep forming. A caterpillar does not reveal its true beauty while it remains in the process of transformation. For a while, it seems that nothing is happening, but there is a profound change happening within you. So is your life. I'm restoring your mind. I am healing your view of yourself. I am removing thoughts that made you believe that you were less than what I put within you. My son, I still transform stories. I still change spiritual names. I still reveal purpose in lives that seemed lost. You don't have to keep living stuck in the old version of you. Maybe you've been waiting for an answer for a long time, and this message has been chosen by me to reveal something profound to you. Stay, my beloved child. I know there are times when you look at a situation and feel as if it has all come to an end. I know there are areas of your life where you've looked at the scene and thought, there's no hope left. There is no way anymore. There is no longer any possibility. But I tell you, that which seems to be the end in your eyes may be just the beginning of a new season in my hands. You think that something has died because it does not see fruit, but I tell you, not every time without fruit means the absence of life. Look at a tree during the winter. Its branches look dry, its leaves fall, its appearance seems to reveal only loss. But within it, there is movement. Underground, its roots are still alive. There is a preparation happening in silence. The tree did not die because it went through a difficult season. It is waiting for the right moment to bloom again. So are you, my son. You think you are standing still, but I tell you, I am working at a depth which your eyes cannot yet perceive. You think you have missed your opportunity, but I tell you, some seasons must end before a new phase can be born. You think that the leaves that have fallen represent failure, but I tell you, some things need to be removed so that what is new finds room to grow. I know your stations. I know the times when you needed to plant without seeing results. I know the moments when he had to keep believing even without visible signs. I know the times when you took care of seeds that seemed too small to produce something big. But I also know the time of revelation. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "Everything has its appointed time, and there is a time for every purpose under heaven. My son, there is a time to plant, there is a time to put down roots, there is a time to grow, and there is a time when what was being prepared in secret begins to appear before your eyes. You think, I have forgotten what I have put in your heart, but I tell you, I have not forgotten any seed that I have planted within you. You think that silence means that nothing is happening, but I tell you, some of the greatest transformations happen before they are seen. The seed does not cry out when it breaks through the earth. The light of dawn does not appear all at once. The process happens little by little until what was hidden is revealed. My son, do not allow a difficult season to make you believe that your story is over. One phase does not define your entire journey. A closed door does not mean that all paths are over. A winter doesn't mean that spring will never come. I'm working through the cycles of your life. I'm strengthening your roots. I am preparing your heart for a new realization. Because when the new season arrives, you'll understand why some leaves needed to fall. You will understand why some paths needed to change. You will understand that I was never ending your story. I was preparing a new chapter. This message has reached you, and it can reach other children of mine. By subscribing to this channel and liking this video, you help my word reach more hearts. My beloved child, I know every prayer that has come out of your heart. I know those words that you managed to say, and also those that were trapped inside your soul. I know the times when you closed your eyes and only sighed before me, because you couldn't find the strength to explain what you were feeling. You think your prayers have vanished into silence, but I tell you, no sincere prayer is lost before my presence. You think that your tears have fallen into emptiness, but I tell you, I collect each tear and I know the meaning of each one of them. I don't just watch the words that come out of your mouth. I know the intent of your heart. I know the request hidden behind silence. I know the pain hidden behind a smile. I know the hope that lives on, even after so many days of waiting. My son, you often look at the absence of an immediate response and think that I am not acting. But I tell you, silence does not erase care. Waiting does not mean forgetting. Time does not mean abandonment. I keep working even when your eyes can't perceive it. Look at Anna. She carried a deep desire in her heart. For years she presented her pain before me. She cried, and waited for something that seemed impossible to human eyes. Many people did not understand his sadness. Many people did not know the depth of his prayer. But I knew. I was listening to every word. I was seeing every tear. I was following every moment when she chose to continue seeking my presence. 1 Samuel 1:27 says, I prayed for this child, and the Lord granted me my petition. My son, Hannah's prayer has not been forgotten. The waiting time didn't mean that I had ignored her cry. There was a process going on. There was a preparation going on. There was a right moment being formed. So it is with you. You think you need to remind me of what you asked for, but I tell you, I have never forgotten. You think that your prayer needs to be repeated many times to reach me, but I tell you, before you even speak, I already know what your soul desires. I am not indifferent to your suffering. I am not far from your need. I am no stranger to the dreams you carry in your heart. But I also see that which you do not see. I see the right moment. I see the preparation needed. I see what needs to happen inside of you as the answer is formed. My son, some seeds need time underground before they appear above it. Waiting does not mean the absence of life. Waiting is also a place where I work. I'm strengthening your confidence. I'm maturing your faith. I am teaching your soul to rest in the assurance that my presence remains even when the answer has not yet come. Keep giving your heart to me, because I know every cry you carry, and no prayer offered sincerely goes unnoticed before me. My beloved child, I know that sometimes you look back and miss who you were before the pains, before the losses, and before the moments that marked your journey. You remember a version of yourself that seemed lighter. You remember days when there were fewer worries. You remember when some wounds didn't exist yet. But I tell you, I'm not just trying to return you to the past. I am forming something new within you. You think you need to go back to who you were before the storms, but I tell you the storms were also part of the process that revealed a new strength in your soul. A tree that passes through the seasons is no longer exactly as it was before. She faces the cold. It loses leaves. She remains silent for some periods. But when a new season arrives, it is not the same tree. She grew up. It has taken deeper roots. It became more resistant. It produces new fruits. So it is with you, my son. You think that the changes you have experienced have only taken things away from you, but I tell you, many of them have made room for what I am forming. I am working on a new perception within you. I'm healing the way you look at your own story. I'm showing that what has ended doesn't need to control what is beginning. My son, you need not remain stuck with the old version of yourself. You don't have to keep carrying thoughts that were born in times of pain. You don't have to allow a rough patch to determine your entire identity, because I don't see you just for what has happened. I see what I'm building. I see the roots that grew when no one was looking. I see the maturity that was born through the processes. I see the faith that has remained even when circumstances have tried to weaken you. Isaiah 43:19 says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing, which is coming forth into the light. Do you not perceive it? My son, I am already doing something new. Maybe you still can't see completely. Perhaps there are still parts of your life that seem unfinished. But what is in process does not mean that it is stopped. The seed that is under the ground is not lost. It is being prepared to break through the surface. So are you. You think you are waiting for an external change, but I tell you, the first transformation is already taking place within your soul. I am renewing your hope. I am strengthening your awareness. I am restoring your ability to believe again. Don't get stuck on what you finished. Don't just look at the door that is closed. Look at the new road that I am revealing, because some things had to end so that others could be born. Some old versions had to be left behind so that a deeper identity could emerge. My son, I am not just restoring broken pieces. I am revealing a new story through your life. Few get to this point in the message, my son. But you arrived, and that's no accident. What follows was reserved for those who persevered. My beloved child, I know how many times you have tried to carry alone that which was weighing your heart. I know how many times you've woken up thinking about problems, responsibilities, and situations that seemed too big for your strength. You tried to solve everything. You tried to control everything. You tried to be strong for everyone around you. But I tell you, there are weights that were never meant for your hands. You think you need to sustain everything alone, but I tell you, you were created to walk with me. My son, I have not put on you the responsibility of controlling every detail of life. I have not asked you to bear the weight of things that belong to my care. You think that resting means stopping fighting, but I tell you, resting in me means continuing to walk without carrying alone that which is beyond your capacity. The rest I offer is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of peace in their midst. It is knowing that even when you do not have all the answers, I am still there. Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." My son, this invitation remains open to your soul. I see the fatigue that no one notices. I see the weight you hide behind a smile. I see the concerns you try to address before they even happen. You think you need to carry tomorrow today, but I tell you, each day has its own measure of grace. You think you need to foresee all the paths to be safe, but I tell you, my presence is greater than any uncertainty. A child rests in his father's arms because he knows he doesn't have to control everything. She does not know all the dangers. She doesn't understand all the paths, but she trusts those who hold her. This is how I want to teach your soul. I want to teach you to let go of what is robbing you of your peace. I want to teach your heart to surrender what your hands can't solve. My son, there are battles that you are trying to win through worry, but I tell you, worry does not strengthen your walk, it only tires your soul. Confidence, however, renews its strength. When you put your fears before me, you are not giving up. You are recognizing that there is a greater God taking care of what you cannot reach. I am your livelihood. I am the one who strengthens your steps when your legs look tired. I am the one who renews your hope when your thoughts get heavy. You think you need to be strong all the time, but I tell you, even those who walk with me need moments of rest. Even trees need renewal seasons. Even the land needs to receive rain before it can produce new fruit. So is your soul. I'm teaching you to rest without guilt. I'm teaching you to trust without fear. I'm showing that your life does not depend only on your strength, but on my presence sustaining every step. My son, when you learn to rest in me, you find that you have never been carrying the walk alone. My beloved child, look again at your story, but this time do not look only with the eyes of pain. Look with the eyes of what I am forming within you. For a long time, you have called difficulty what I have used as growth. You have called loss that which I have transformed into learning. You called silence what was a deep preparation. But I tell you, not everything that was difficult was against you. There are processes that hurt, but also strengthen. There are paths that tire, but also mature. There are seasons that seem to take something away from you, but are revealing something that was hidden within your soul. My son, I was working on the invisible roots. You were looking at what appeared on the surface, but I was taking care of that which would sustain your walk. A strong tree does not grow in a single day. It grows through cycles. She faces winds. It goes through periods of rain and drought. It remains firm because its roots learn to seek depth. So it is with you. You think that the storms have come only to test your endurance, but I tell you, some storms reveal the strength that was already being built within you. You think you are just going through a phase, but I tell you, I am revealing a new level of your identity. I'm showing you who you are when circumstances aren't perfect. I am revealing a deeper faith. I'm building a trust that doesn't just depend on what your eyes can see. My son, a tree does not know its own strength until it faces winds that try to move it. A root doesn't discover its depth until it needs to stand firm during a difficult season. So is your soul. You didn't realize the strength that existed within you until you needed to use it. You didn't realize the faith you were growing until you went through times when only trusting me was possible. You didn't realize the maturity that was being formed until you looked back and realized that what would once destroy you can no longer take away your peace. My son, I'm not just changing situations around you. I'm transforming the way you see yourself. Because before delivering new paths, I strengthen the identity of the one who will walk through them. Before I place new fruits in your hands, I strengthen the roots that will sustain you. You think you are expecting an external change, but I tell you, one of the greatest changes is already happening within you. I am restoring your perception. I am healing your conscience. I'm removing old images that made you believe you were smaller than what I put in your life. My son, the person who is emerging after this process carries a depth that did not exist before. Brands have not diminished you. The experiences did not erase its value. Each season has left something in your soul. Each challenge brought a new layer of maturity. Each difficult moment was an opportunity to reveal a part of yourself that was hidden. You think you just survived, but I tell you, you have grown. You think you have just passed through the path, but I tell you, you have been transformed during the walk. If this message is confirming what you already felt in your heart, write in the comments, I trust in God's action. My beloved child, I know how many times you have looked at the passing of time and felt that you were waiting for something that seemed to never come. I know the questions that were born within your heart when the days remained the same and the answers you expected seemed distant. You looked at the clock, you counted the days, you told the opportunities that passed, and at times he thought, will it still happen? But I tell you, I have never lost track of the time of your story. You think I took my time, but I tell you, I was preparing the right moment. You think the door was slow to open, but I tell you, I was strengthening its structures so that you could remain when it opened. My son, there is a difference between what seems to take time and what is preparation. You see only time passing. I see everything that is being built during this time. You see the absence of movement. I see roots growing. You see a weight. I see a transformation happening. A seed does not remain underground because it has been forgotten. It stays there because there is a process going on. Before it appears above the surface, its roots need to find depth. Before its fruits are seen, its structure needs to be strengthened. So, it is with you. You think you were hiding, but I tell you, you were being prepared. While you saw no external changes, I was working within you. I was healing thoughts that limited his vision. I was strengthening her faith so that she wouldn't just depend on circumstances. I was removing old fears that might have kept you from living out what I was forming. My son, some answers do not come immediately because I do not just prepare the blessing, I also prepare the heart that will receive it. You have asked for an open door, but I have also prepared your maturity to pass through it. You have asked for growth, but I also strengthen your roots to sustain that which is to come. You asked for a change, but I began by transforming that within you, that you needed to be ready to stay in this new phase. Because a blessing without preparation can become a burden, but that which I first build within your soul becomes a firm foundation. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also put the world in man's heart without his being able to find out the work that God has done from the beginning to the end." My son, I know the perfect timing. I know the moment when what has been prepared in secret can be revealed. You think you have lost years, but I tell you, no time given to me has been wasted. Each station has taught something. Each process strengthened something. Each weight revealed something. There are works that you will only understand when you look back. There will be times when you realize that that closed door has protected you, that longer path prepared you, that silence formed within you a strength that you didn't even know you needed. My son, I was not standing still while you waited. I was working in places that his eyes couldn't reach. I was lining up details. I was preparing paths. I was forming a story that had not yet been completely revealed. My dearly beloved child, I know there have been times when you have looked at the desert of your life and thought you had been forgotten. I know that some levels seemed too long, too quiet, and too difficult to understand. You looked at that place and asked, "Why am I going through this?" You thought the desert was proof that something was wrong with you. But I tell you, not every desert is punishment. Some deserts are schools where I reveal parts of your soul that would never be discovered in places of comfort. You think that the desert is a place where everything is lost, but I tell you, it is often in the desert that what really matters is found. In the desert, some distractions disappear. In the desert, some false securities cease to exist. In the desert, your soul learns to recognize my voice in a deeper way. My son, I was not trying to destroy you at that time. I was strengthening foundations that needed to exist within you. A house that will be built to stand firm needs a deep foundation. The larger the structure, the greater the preparation of the base needs to be. So it is with your life. You think I was delaying your story, but I tell you I was preparing your structure. You think you were wasting time, but I tell you I was forming maturity. Look at Moses. Before leading a nation, he spent years in the desert. To human eyes, it seemed like a forgotten phase. It seemed that his story had stopped. But in that place, I was forming a leader. I was teaching addiction. I was working on the heart of the one who would one day carry a great responsibility. Look at David. Before he stood before kings and multitudes, he learned to trust me in the field. The hidden place was where his faith grew. The place where no one applauded was where his identity was strengthened. And even Jesus braved the wilderness before beginning his ministry. The desert was not an absence of purpose. It was part of the preparation. My son, maybe you are looking at a difficult phase of your life and thinking that it has delayed your dreams, but I tell you, it is also revealing who you become as you walk. Deuteronomy 8:2 says, "And you shall remember all the way by which the Lord your God led you in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble you and to prove you, to know what was in your heart." I was revealing what existed inside you. I was showing fears that needed to be healed. I was revealing thoughts that needed to be transformed. I was bringing to light wounds that needed to be restored, because what remains hidden cannot be completely dealt with. You think that the desert has revealed its limitations, but I tell you, it has also revealed my presence. You found that you could keep going even when you didn't have all the answers. You discovered that your strength didn't come from circumstance alone. You found that I remained with you even when the path seemed empty. My son, the desert did not kill your promise. The wilderness strengthened her ability to receive her, and what I am forming within you in this process will be the basis for what I am still revealing in your walk. My dearly beloved son, I know how many voices have tried to define who you are. I know how many words have been stored inside your heart and made you question your own worth. Some people looked at their mistakes and summarized their story for them. Some situations made you believe you were too small. Some pains tried to convince you that what happened was greater than what I put inside you. But I tell you, your identity has never been in the hands of circumstances. You think that you are what you have lived, but I tell you, you are what I have formed in you. You think that your difficult moments reveal who you are, but I tell you, they only reveal parts of the path you have traversed. My son, before anyone knew your name, I already knew your essence. Before anyone recognized your ability, I had already placed purpose within you. Before anyone saw any achievement in his life, I already saw the seed that existed within his soul. I see the root before the fruit. I see the potential before manifestation. I see that which is being built up in the secret before it is revealed before human eyes. You think you need to become someone different in order to be loved by me, but I tell you, my love was already present before any transformation. My love didn't start when you got it right. My love didn't start when you managed to win. My love didn't start when people recognized its value. My love was already present when you were still learning to walk. Jeremiah 31:3 says, "With everlasting love I have loved you. Also with kindness I draw you." My son, this eternal love is the basis of your identity. You don't have to live trying to earn what I have already offered by my grace. You don't have to spend your whole life trying to prove that you deserve to be seen. I already see you. I already know your struggles. I already know your dreams. I already know the areas where you are still being restored. And even though I know all this, I continue to call you my child. I am restoring your vision of yourself. I'm removing old thoughts that made you see yourself as smaller than you really are. I'm curating the way you interpret your own story. Because when you look only at your shortcomings, you forget to look at my work in you. A tree does not need to prove that it is a tree. She does not need to convince anyone that she has life. It just remains connected to the root. And because it's connected, it grows. Because it receives food, it stands firm. Because it has a source, it produces fruit. So are you, my son. You don't have to live looking for value in places that can never fill your soul. Stay connected to me. It is in my presence that your identity is strengthened. It is in my voice that lies lose strength. It is in my love that you remember who you really are. In the next few minutes, my son, I will show you something that can be a direct sign from me for your life. Don't leave now, my beloved son. I know tears that no one has seen. I know times when you needed to smile on the outside while carrying battles deep inside your soul. I know those nights when you went to bed with thoughts that you couldn't share with anyone. I know those prayers said in silence, when his words could not express all that his heart felt. Every tear shed was before me. Every sigh of weariness came to me. Every moment in which you have chosen to continue, even without fully understanding, the path has been seen by me. You think you were just suffering, but I tell you, many tears were watering seeds that had not yet appeared. You think that pain did not produce anything, but I tell you, I was using even the difficult moments to form something deeper within you. A dry land looks lifeless when looked at only from the surface. It seems that nothing can be born from there. But when the rain comes, what was hidden begins to awaken. The seed that seemed forgotten begins to break through the earth. The life that seemed invisible begins to appear. So it was with his soul. There are parts of you that have been strengthened through experiences that you would never have chosen to live. I used moments of pain to develop compassion. I used moments of waiting to build patience. I used times of difficulty to deepen his faith. You think that a few tears have only marked your story with sadness, but I tell you, many of them have become seeds of wisdom. My son, I have not wasted any of your tears. The world can look at suffering and see only loss, but I see beyond. I see what is being formed as you go through the process. I see the sensitivity that was born in you. I see the ability to understand other people, because one day you also needed to be understood. I see the strength that came when you realized that you could go on even without feeling like you were strong. Psalm 126:5 says, "Those who sow with tears will reap with joy." My son, this word reveals a profound truth. Tears can also carry seeds. Not every tear represents defeat. A few tears are part of a preparation. A few tears clear paths. A few tears remove weights that your soul has carried for too long. You think you cried because you lost. But I tell you, many times you cried because you were being transformed. I was working in places within you that no external achievement could reach. I was forming a more sensitive heart. I was creating a depth that is not born on easy days. I was revealing a strength that does not depend only on circumstances. My son, what you cried in secret was not ignored. I was present in the moments when you thought no one understood. I was close when you thought you had to face everything alone. I was sustaining you when your own strength seemed to fade. Your tears are not the summary of your story. They are part of a chapter that reveals how I transform broken places into sources of life. And as you look back trying to understand the reason for some pain, I am revealing that even that which hurt your soul was also used to build something new within you. My beloved child, I know how many times you have looked at your own history and wished for a new opportunity. I know how many times you thought you needed to go back to the past to correct paths, recover lost moments, or erase marks that you still carried in your soul. You think your past has the power to stop what I am forming. But I tell you, no fault is greater than my ability to restore. You think you have to go back to where you have fallen, but I tell you I can lift you up from the very place where you are. I don't need you to go back in time to start a new story. I work with the present. I touch your life in the place where you are now. I enter the spaces that seem broken and start a work that no one can prevent. My son, when I transform a life, I don't just make small adjustments. I don't just do superficial repairs. I make a new work. You look at your marks and remember the mistakes. I look at those same marks and see places where my grace has manifested itself. You look at what you have lost and think it is over. I see that which can still be restored. Look at Peter. He walked with me. He heard my words. He saw my miracles. But there came a time when fear spoke louder, and he denied that he knew me. After that moment, Peter wept. He felt the weight of his failure. He might have believed that his story was over. He might have thought that his fall was greater than his calling. But I didn't just look at that moment. I did not define Peter by his denial. I saw the heart that would still be transformed. I saw the man who would stand up. I saw the faith that would be strengthened. My son, I do the same with you. You think your fall has revealed who you are. But I tell you, your restoration reveals even more. You think your mistakes wrote the last chapter, but I tell you, I'm still working on your story. Revelation 21:5 says, "And he who sat on the throne said, 'Behold, I make all things new.'" That is a promise to your soul. I'm renewing thoughts that have been hurt. I'm restoring dreams that seemed forgotten. I am strengthening a hope that difficulties have tried to extinguish. My son, the past can explain some things, but it has no authority to control what I am forming. A tree does not stop growing because it has had a difficult season. A seed does not cease to carry life because it has spent time hidden in the earth. So are you. You are not defined by the moment you fell. You are transformed by the encounter you have with me. I know your full story. I know the chapters you'd like to hide. I know the parts you try not to remember. And yet, I keep looking at you with love, because I don't just see who you were. I see who I am forming. I'm already restoring your sight. I'm already strengthening your heart. I'm already showing that your story didn't end in the place where you thought it all ended. My dearly beloved child, I know how many times you have looked at the circumstances around you and asked me to change that which was outside of you. I know how many times you have prayed for an open door, for a quick response, for a solution that could immediately transform what was happening. You looked at the problem. You looked at the scenery. You looked at what needed to be resolved. But I tell you, while you were asking for a change around you, I was working on that which was deepest within you. You think the greatest battle was against circumstances, but I tell you, often the greatest transformation takes place within the heart. Because an external change without an internal transformation does not remain. You can receive an open door, but if the heart is still stuck in fear, you will not be able to walk freely. You may be given a new opportunity, but if the soul is still wounded, you will have a hard time recognizing its value. Therefore, my son, I work first on the roots. I strengthen what no one sees. I take care of the hidden places. I treat thoughts, feelings, and wounds that influence the way you see life. You wanted me to change the scenery, but I was preparing you to see the scenery in a different way. You wanted only an answer, but I was building within you a trust greater than any answer. You just wanted the end of the battle, but I was building a stronger person in the process. My son, I was teaching you to have peace before the answer. I was teaching you to have faith before the miracle. I was teaching you to trust before revelation. Because a faith that depends only on results has not yet found the full depth of trust. I want your safety to be in me, not just in what your hands can hold. Look at a tree. Before its fruits appear, its roots need to grow. Before she offers shade to others, she needs to stand firm when no one is watching. So is your life. There are periods when I seem to be working slowly, but I am strengthening the foundation. I'm creating depth. I am preparing your heart to carry that which I am forming. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all things to be guarded, guard your heart, for out of it come the sources of life." My son, I know the value of your heart. I know the thoughts you struggle to overcome. I know the emotions you try to control. I know the wounds you hide, even from yourself. And I am touching these places with my presence. I'm restoring your way of thinking. I'm strengthening your identity. I am removing that which has prevented you from living with the freedom I desire for your soul. You think you were just waiting for a change, but I tell you, you were being transformed to live a new reality. I was preparing your heart to live what I was already building. At the end of this message, you will feel my presence in a way that you may never have felt before. Stay with me until the end. My dearly beloved child, I know how many times you have looked at other people and felt smaller. I know how many times you have compared your walk to someone else's walk and started to believe that what I put into you was not enough. You looked at the talents of others. You looked at the achievements of others. You have looked at what appeared before your eyes and forgot to look at what I have already placed within your soul. But I tell you, there is a treasure in you that is still being revealed. You think you have nothing special, but I tell you, I have put a unique identity within you. You think your life is too ordinary to carry anything important, but I tell you, that which I have planted in you has a purpose that is still being discovered. A seed seems small when it is in someone's hand. It seems simple. It seems unimportant, but inside it there is an entire forest, waiting for the right time to appear. So are you, my son. You carry possibilities that your eyes can't yet see. You carry capabilities that perhaps have not yet been awakened. You carry experiences that will be used to touch lives that you can't even imagine. My child, do not allow comparison to steal the perception of what I am doing in you. Comparison makes you look at someone else's garden and forget about the seeds I planted in your own heart. You think you need to be like others to be of value, but I tell you, I didn't create you to be a copy. I formed you with a story of your own. I know your ways. I know your experiences. I know the brands that made you become who you are. Nothing in your walk was unknown to me. 2 Corinthians 4:7 says, "But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God, and not of us. My son, I have placed treasures in places that often seem simple. I have chosen to work through people who recognize that they need me. Because true strength is not born only from human capacity. True strength is born when my presence works through an available heart. You think you need to be perfect to be used by me, but I tell you, I work through those who allow my light to shine, even in their limitations. I know your insecurities. I know the times when you doubted yourself. I know the times when you asked if you really had something of value to offer. But I tell you, I have never put anything empty inside you. I didn't create your life without purpose. I would not form his story unintentionally. There is something inside you that needs to blossom at the right time. Just as a tree doesn't have to scream to prove that it has fruit, you don't have to live trying to convince everyone of its worth. Stay connected to me. Stay close to the source, because when the root is connected, the fruit appears naturally. My son, the source of your strength has never been just your ability. It is my presence working through you. It's my grace sustaining you. It is my love revealing that there is much more within you than what your eyes can perceive. If this video came at the right time for you, write in the comments, "I believe, Lord," and declare that you're ready for this new phase. My beloved child, look back for a moment and realize something that you may have forgotten. You have come this far. You remember the days when you thought you couldn't keep going. You remember the times when your strength seemed too small under the circumstances. You remember the nights when your soul was tired and you wondered where you would get the strength to take another step. But I tell you, you have not come this far alone. You think it was only your endurance that sustained your walk. But I tell you, it was my hand holding you when your own strength was no longer sufficient. There were times when you believed you were walking alone, but I was by your side. There were times when you thought you were going to fall, but I was holding your steps. There were times when you thought there was no way out, but I was already preparing a path that your eyes still couldn't see. My son, don't just look at the size of the battle. Look also at the grace that has brought you to this moment. Every time you got up after a fall, I was there. Each time you chose to continue, even without understanding, I was strengthening your heart. Each time you took a deep breath and decided not to give up, I was renewing your strength. Isaiah 46:4 says, "I will be the same until your old age, and yet to gray-headedness I will carry you." My son, I did not begin your story and then I abandoned the path. I didn't put a promise inside you and leave you alone to fight for it. I remain, I maintain, I follow every step. You think that delay means that nothing is happening, but I tell you, often the last stretch of waiting is where the deepest preparation happens. You think you have reached the limit, but I tell you, you are closer than you think. There are times when the seed seems to remain hidden too long. But just before it breaks through the earth, there is an invisible movement going on. The root is strengthening. Life is being formed. Birth is approaching. My son, maybe you're tired because you carried this weight for too long. Maybe you thought about stopping because you didn't see enough signs. But I tell you, don't interpret silence as the end. Do not interpret the process as abandonment. Do not interpret the delay as a negative. I know the perfect timing. I know the moment when what I have prepared can be revealed. The longer wait often precedes a deeper understanding. The darkest night is often close to dawn. The quieter soil is often preparing the greatest harvest. My son, I see you. I see how much you endured. I see the battles that no one knows about. And I tell you, you have not been sustained hitherto to be abandoned now. What I have formed within you during this path has a purpose. The force that was born in the secret will be revealed at the right time. Stand firm a little longer, because that which seemed distant is being brought closer by my hands. My beloved child, I want you to understand a truth that can transform the way you look at yourself. You don't have to spend your whole life trying to prove that you deserve to be loved. You think you need to conquer my love through your attitudes, but I tell you, My love has never been a reward for those who always get it right. My love was the beginning, before your conquests, before their recognitions, before the results you presented to the world, before anything you could do. I already knew you and had already placed value within your life. My son, you have spent a lot of time looking at your flaws and allowing them to define your identity. You looked at the mistakes and thought they were your name. You looked at the falls and thought they were your complete story. But I tell you, you are not the end product of your mistakes. You are not what happened to you. You are not what people have said about you. You are not the sum of your greatest difficulties. You belong to me. I call you by name, not by your downfalls. I know your essence, not just your moments of weakness. I see the heart that keeps searching, even after disappointments. I see the soul that keeps trying. Even after the wounds, I see the person who is being formed while you are still learning to see yourself. My son, many times you have tried to build your value through people's approval. You tried to be accepted. You tried never to disappoint anyone. You tried to carry an image of strength even when your heart needed care. But I tell you, you don't have to live like someone trying to conquer a place you've already been given out of love. When you understand that you belong to me, something changes within your soul. You stop living to prove, and start living to reveal that which I have already placed within you. You stop running after an identity and start walking from the identity you have been given. Romans 8:38-39 says, "Nothing can separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. My son, nothing means anything, nor his mistakes, nor his fears, nor his moments of doubt, nor the phases in which you felt distant. Nothing can erase the love I have for you. You think you need to be perfect again in order to get closer to me, but I tell you, I draw near to you while you are still being restored. I don't expect you to be whole to move on with your life. I enter the broken places and begin a work of healing. I enter the areas where you have lost hope and begin to bring light. My son, I know every part of your story, and yet I choose to call you mine. I don't just see who you were. I see who you are becoming in my presence. You are not a forgotten person. You are not a life without purpose. You are not a soul defined by your battles. You are someone loved, chosen, and cared for by me. And when that truth finally reaches your heart, you stop struggling to prove yourself and begin to rest in the assurance that you are already known and loved by the one who created you. My beloved son, I have come this far with you, and I want to thank you for staying with me until the end of this message. I know that many voices have tried to distract your attention, and many times you have thought about leaving before you have heard all that I have prepared for your heart. But you remain, and I tell you, there is a spiritual blessing on those who persevere to the end. What you received today was not just a word of comfort. It was a reminder of who you are in me. I've seen her struggles, her tears, and the moments when her faith seemed small in the face of challenges. But I was sustaining you every step of the way and revealing that my presence never left you alone. My son, keep this truth within your soul. I am proud of you because I know your complete story and see everything that no one else can see. I see your perseverance, your heart seeking my direction, and your choice to continue, even when the path seemed difficult. Today, I want you to walk with a new consciousness, knowing that you are loved, cared for, and guided by me. Write in the comments, I watched until the end, and also put the city where you are, because your statement of faith shows that this message found you at the right time. I want you to remember something. Your journey did not end in the difficulties you faced. Every tear, every waiting, and every battle were moments when I was forming something deeper within you. There is a force in your soul that was born from the processes you went through. Now allow this certainty to remain in your heart. You are not alone. I continue to guide your steps, strengthen your faith, and reveal paths that your eyes cannot yet perceive. I see tomorrow. I know your desires, and I take care of every detail of your life. If this message has touched your heart, share it with someone who also needs to remember that they are loved by me. Enjoy this video and subscribe to this channel to continue receiving words that strengthen your spiritual walk. When you share this message, you become an instrument to bring hope to another heart. My son, receive my blessing upon your life. May your mind find peace, may your heart find rest, and may your soul remain firm in the assurance of my presence. Keep walking with me, because there are still learnings, revelations, and moments of growth prepared for your journey. Allow God to continue speaking to your heart. Take the next step in this journey by watching the next video that will appear here on the screen. In it, we will continue to learn how to live in God's presence and experience the fullness of His plans. Don't stop here, because God still has much more to speak to you. Always remember, God is greater, and His presence is our strength. Trust Him, and He will do infinitely more than you can imagine. May God bless your life, and see you in the next video.